Committee on Oversight and Government Reform will come to order. Without objection, the Chair is authorized to declare a recess at any time. Inspectors General serve the American taxpayers as the first line of defense against waste, fraud, and abuse by government agencies. And to that end, Congress has given them unfettered access to agency records. The Inspector General Act in Section 6A says clearly, is authorized to have access to all records, reports, audits, reviews, documents, papers, recommendations, or other material. The Act directs all records be made and be given to the IGs. We appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. I'd like to yield a portion of my time here to the gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Meadows.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank each of you for being here. Obviously, every day, some 13,000 employees that work with each one of you go to work to protect the American taxpayer. Really, they're the first line of defense when American taxpayers feel like they are not getting treated fairly. And that's what this is about, being treated fairly. The IGs and the 13,000 people that work with them are there. The Chairman said it well. This is about all records and making sure that all records are available to you to do the work that is so important to the American taxpayer. Yet we find that, I guess, last August, that 47 Inspector Generals signed saying that they're not getting all the documents to do the work that you need to do. We had a hearing, and again today we have another hearing because we have not had the progress that we should have seen. And so I look forward to hearing from each one of you how we can make it any more clear that the Inspector Generals need to be able to do their job. It needs to be done without relationship to whether it's Democrat, Republican, or unaffiliated. It needs to be done on behalf of the American taxpayer. And I thank the Chairman for making this our first official hearing, and I yield back.
I thank the gentleman. I want to thank the men and women who serve in these various offices and agencies. There's more than 13,000 people go to work every day. They're supposed to be able to access all the documents without exception. There aren't exceptions. The law is crystal clear. They serve as watchdogs. They serve as impartial people who go and look at these documents to figure out what is truly happening and look under the hood. They're essentially the internal auditors. We count on them and rely on them. If the Inspectors General can't do their job, we can't do our job. And this is why it's imperative, and this is why I'm proud to have this as my first hearing as Chairman of this committee. Nothing is supposed to be off limits. The committee needs to send a strong message. We support these hardworking men and women to access the information they need to fulfill their mission of holding government accountable. Now, before I end, I want to address a letter that Ranking Member Cummings sent to me this past Friday. I appreciate him sending it to me. It was done in the right spirit. I'm going to work with him and cooperate with him, and I appreciate that. The letter that Mr. Cummings sent to me says that and requests that we sit down with the EPA Inspector General, and the FBI to broker a resolution in a dispute between the three entities. Again, I appreciate that invitation. I'm happy to be part of that meeting. But the letter that was given to me really drives home the point. The EPA Inspector General should not have to lean on a member of Congress to broker a deal to try to negotiate what kind of documents we need to get. The Act is crystal clear. We're going to go over that today. And as I conclude here, I'd like to enter into the record, I'd ask unanimous consent to enter into the record August 5th of 2014, 47 of the 72 Inspectors General sent a letter, and this issue has not been resolved. I ask that this be inserted into the record, as well as a letter that was brought today by Mr. Horowitz. It's dated February 3rd, 2015. Mr. Horowitz, as you give your opening statement, and we'll give you a little extra latitude, if you could perhaps describe in your own words this letter that you delivered to us here in Congress today. And I'd also ask unanimous consent that the letter of January 30th, 2015 from Mr. Cummings to myself also be entered into the record. Without objection, so ordered. With that, I yield back my time and recognize the ranking member, Mr. Cummings.